Why Good American Family's Imogen Faith Reid didn't tell Ellen Pompeo she loved Grey's Anatomy. Imogen Faith Reid chose not to tell Ellen Pompeo about her love for Grey's Anatomy while they filmed Good American Family. She is very much a role model for me. I did love Grey's Anatomy, and I never told her because I didn't want to weird her out, Reid, 27, exclusively told Us Weekly. But I really loved working alongside Ellen so much. Reid, who plays Natalia Grace, learned so much sharing the screen with Pompeo, 55, adding, "I remember there was a time on set where, as an actor, you have to get into your right mark, and I was confused. Ellen asked the cameraman to turn over the camera for me so I could actually see what I was doing. That was a real learning moment for me. It was like I was really being taught there. She always taught me that I could have a voice and that I could speak up," Reid continued. "For my first job, I was shy. I was a bit intimidated, and she always made me feel so comfortable. It was just a real gift for me to have somebody like her to learn from. These things that she's taught me, I'll always take with me to each job that I do." Good American Family, which is currently airing on Hulu, is a scripted true crime series inspired by Natalia Grace, who made headlines when she was adopted by Christine and Michael Barnett as a child only to accuse them of abandoning her. Pompeo plays Christine, which marks her first role since being cast as Meredith on ABC's long-running medical drama. Reid was thankful for the support she felt on set after previously appearing as a body double on The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, and HBO's The Third Day. "I was so nervous about taking on a speaking role to begin with and being a lead. I really thought, can I take this on? Because it's a lot of pressure, but the thing that helped me through it is I thought, I'm a little person. I can tell this story," Reid, who also has a form of dwarfism, Reid. "I had an incredible cast that I knew was going to guide me, and I wasn't wrong, so I was in very good hands." Reid broke down the extra work that went into playing Grace, sharing, "Disney helped so much. They actually hooked me up with an acting coach, and I actually had an incredible movement coach as well that helped me figure out Natalia's movement." She continued, "It was very early on when I decided that I wanted to portray my own version of Natalia. So through this, we found the movement in my own body that felt genuine but not imitating Natalia, as we have different types of dwarfism. That was something that was really important to me. There was also an incredible dialect coach who helped me with the American accent, and all of this just really helped portray my character. Something that I never really dabbled in is the amount of acting choices they would each make. Ellen would always talk about choices, and this was something that I did do it. I think I could have delved in more," Reid shared with us. Also, just how professional they all are and how they can step into a character so quickly is something I learned. It was mesmerizing learning from Christina, Sarayu, Dulé, Mark, and Ellen. And even though I may have been the lead, they were the leads for me. I learned from them, and it was just so amazing to do. When Imogen Faith Reid was cast as the vibrant, fiercely independent younger sister in Good American Family, her life began moving at a speed even her quick mind struggled to keep up with. One day, she was a drama student in a sun-drenched acting class in Pasadena. The next, she was standing on a bustling set with a coffee in one hand and a script in the other, making small talk with actors she had watched on television since she was a teenager. The role was a dream. The show was a dream. And the cast, the stuff of legends. One of the early surprises of joining Good American Family was discovering that none other than Ellen Pompeo herself, the woman who had carried Grey's Anatomy through countless heartbreaks, weddings, and plane crashes, was an executive producer on the show. Ellen wasn't there every day, but when she did visit set, it was as if the air shifted. Conversations quieted. People straightened up a little. She had that effortless aura, the kind that made you feel like you should be doing better, but also like she might sit down next to you and tell you a hilarious story about her dog. For Imogen, it was a conflict of emotions she hadn't anticipated. Because she loved Grey's Anatomy. Loved as in, dressed up as Meredith Grey for Halloween. Loved as in, cried actual tears when George died, when Derek died, when Lexi died. Okay, especially Lexi. Loved, as in, had once stayed up all night in college to binge 3 seasons, and then turned in a paper on medical ethics that was basically just a giant homage to Seattle Grace Hospital. So when Imogen met Ellen for the first time, a casual handshake in the production office, her heart nearly leaped out of her body. She managed a normal smile. A nice to meet you. A brief, professional nod. She said nothing about Grey's Anatomy. In the days that followed, Imogen found herself thinking about it way more than she should have. Every time Ellen walked by, in chic sneakers, holding an eco-friendly water bottle, tossing notes to a director, Imogen fought the urge to blurt it out. I love Grey's Anatomy. You're a genius. You made me want to be an actress. I named my cat Bailey after Miranda Bailey. Instead, she kept her mouth shut. It wasn't because she didn't want to say it. It was because she wanted to say it too much. The words felt huge in her throat, almost sacred, and the moment didn't feel right. Not yet. She was terrified of coming across like a fangirl instead of a colleague. Terrified of being filed away in Ellen's mind as the kid who couldn't keep it together. She wanted to be respected, to prove she belonged here, to show she was a professional first. There was also something deeper, something almost private, about her love for the show. Grey's Anatomy had gotten Imogen through so much. A rocky freshman year of high school, a nasty breakup, the anxiety attacks that sometimes struck out of nowhere. Watching Meredith Grey navigate her disasters and still show up for another day of surgery felt personal, almost like a secret friendship. And now, standing here, Imogen wasn't sure she was ready to hand that over. It felt a little like protecting a piece of her heart. So she stayed quiet. When Ellen was on set, Imogen smiled and nodded like everyone else, took notes with extra attention, and waited for the right moment, a moment that never quite came. One afternoon after a long rehearsal, Imogen found herself alone in the craft services tent, picking at a stale cookie. Ellen wandered in a few minutes later, grabbing a bottle of sparkling water from the fridge. They made eye contact. For a second, it was just them, no cameras, no other cast, no pressure. This show's coming along nicely, Ellen said, smiling warmly. You're really good in it. Imogen's heart did that awkward somersault thing again. She managed a casual, thank you. That means a lot. She could have said it then. She could have launched into how much Grey's had meant to her, how Ellen had been a guiding star for her without even knowing it. But something in Ellen's eyes, a kind of easy kindness, a patience born of decades in the industry, made Imogen realize that Ellen didn't need a speech. Ellen wasn't looking to be idolized. She was building something new, something they were both part of now. So Imogen smiled, broke her cookie in half, and offered her a piece. You want the side with more chocolate chips? She asked. Ellen laughed, a real laugh, and accepted. And that was it. No grand declarations, no embarrassing gushing. Just a quiet moment between two women who loved good storytelling, who knew what it meant to work hard and stay passionate and protect the things that mattered. In the weeks and months that followed, Imogen settled in. She grew into her role. She trusted herself more. And every time Ellen visited, Imogen felt less like a nervous fan and more like an artist in her own right. Maybe one day, when the show wrapped or at some wrap party after a few glasses of champagne, she would tell Ellen the whole story. About the cat named Bailey, about the college essay, about how Meredith Grey had saved her heart more times than she could count. But for now, Imogen was content knowing it. It lived inside her like a quiet, powerful engine, the kind of thing that didn't need to be spoken out loud to be real. Sometimes the deepest loves are the ones you carry gently, without needing to announce them. And Imogen Faith Reid was perfectly okay with that.